you, good day.
Much love.
And to you as well.
A couple of questions for you. One is based in religion, and the other in science and medicine and innovation. So with regards to religion, some of the major leaders, could you expand or expound a little bit on Moses?
What does Moses have to do with religion?
I guess I'm asking you that. He was a major leader that was a figure within the Old Testament.
We understand who you're referring to, but the way we ask that question should be very revealing to you. Because Moses doesn't have to have anything at all to do with religion to be a great teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
Correct.
And this is true of most of what you would call or recognize as masters. Most of them had no intention of creating a religion. You understand?
Yes.
It was about helping others recognize that they are as powerful as the teacher teaching. That everyone is, or at least has the capacity and potential to be the same, to have the same understandings and perspectives, to elevate themselves. Yes?
Yes.
That all can be masters, all can be teachers. Yes? Mm-hmm. Therefore, the misinterpretation of this and the idea that there needs to be somebody in between you and your connection to creation in order to interpret that connection for you is what religion is. But with your own connection and knowing that you are self-empowered, that you are in every way equal to the idea, at least potentially, of any of the ascended masters, then you don't necessarily need to express that through the concept of religion unless that's simply a permission slip that works for you.
Got it.
Does that help?
Yes, and I've heard about permission slips a lot. It's very
And by the way, if it hadn't been for the fact that an extraterrestrial society, referred to as the Anunnaki, hadn't used their genetic material to create the idea of Homo sapien from the natural hominid that evolved on your planet, and created Homo sapien at that time to be someone who should look up to them as superior, if that hadn't happened, it is unlikely you would ever have developed religion on your planet.
That was my next question.
Well, I've already answered it.
All right, so in relation to the potential of the future, and I know probabilities and potentials are always a part of the future.
Yes, it is.
And I come from a place of innovation in healthcare, and I'm just interested in some possibilities within neuroscience, neurology, cancer, genetics, within the next 50 to 60 years in terms of innovation.
Well, you are finding out more and more that it's all about vibration. It's all about resonance. It's all about states of being. That if you can find the vibrational equation that represents a certain state of being, and you can impose that vibrational frequency on something that is out of alignment with that state of being in a specific way, you can bring it back into alignment with that state of being, which will cause a transformation to take place within that thing. Yes?
Yes.
That's the basis for all you're talking about. That's the fundamental principle behind everything that you just asked about.
So on a really pragmatic level, if somebody's really sick with heart failure or heart disease, how do they get back into alignment?
Again, they can, depending upon the reason for the creation of that experience, because not everyone will necessarily need or want to be healed. You follow me? Mm-hmm. Because they may be creating that experience for a very specific reason that they need to go through, or that someone else close to them needs to experience. So you have to look at it first on a case-by-case, person-by-person basis as to why that's happening. But if there is, within their choices, the probability of allowing them to heal themselves, then the idea can be that you need to chart and measure what the natural healed vibration of that particular being would be, or that particular organ would be. And then imposing that vibration in a specific way, at a specific frequency, into that area can either allow the tissue to regenerate back to that vibrational state that represents the healed state, or at the very least may cause certain inspirations within you if you need to go through a process to create the process that is necessary to bring that organ back to a healed state by just simply immersing in that vibration that represents the healed state of that organ.
Very cool. Thank you. Very interesting.
Does that help you?
That helps a lot, yeah.
There is also a technique that was used in Atlantean times that is kind of akin to the concept of hypnosis, because in hypnosis you can actually be unlocked from a particular reality idea, and you can be induced into another reality idea. More exploration on the concept of what you now presently refer to as multiple personality disorder may be important here, because there already have been measurements of different personalities having completely different physical states. Yes? One personality can actually have a disease, but when it shifts to the other personality, there's no sign of the disease.
Yes, there are case studies.
When you can really understand what's going on there, you'll have your answer. Yes? Because they are actually, regardless of whether it looks like it's the same body, the same person, they are actually two different people. Yes?
Okay, that's
And
amazing.
there are always alternate and parallel versions of everyone. Yes?
Yes.
Somewhere there must be a parallel version of a person with a disease that doesn't have it.
All right.
Finding that vibration and inducing them to follow and match that frequency will allow them to become that version of themselves that not only doesn't have the disease, but never did, because it's not in their history, the new person that they're becoming. Yes? Making sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is a way to use parallel realities as a healing technique. Then that, to some degree, is the future of medicine.
Thanks.
You are welcome.
Appreciate it.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
I have two questions.
Yes.
Al-Qaeda,
Yes.
Boko Haram, Al-Shabaab, and the Islamic State. Is there a message or a commonality of, and maybe you could just explain kind of what's going on? We don't always get the right, the news stories or the right
There are several things.
things.
Again, in terms of the expression that would be the negative side, there is, as we have already been discussing, a lot of fear-based beliefs. A lot of sense of being attacked. A lot of sense of diminishment. A lot of sense of lack of self-empowerment. So there is a lot of fear that reveals itself in the lashing out that is done. Yes?
Yes.
Does that answer your question sufficiently, or is there something else you wish to understand?
So there's fear on the part of the organizations like the Islamic State or Al-Shabaab.
Of course.
They're
As we have
fearful.
already explained, the greatest power requires the gentlest touch. If anyone has to force an idea, an ideology, a perspective on anyone else, what they're saying is they don't believe in the power of that idea. Because if it really was a powerful idea, why wouldn't everyone gravitate to it? Because everyone wants to feel powerful. Yes?
Yes.
So if an idea is not being gravitated to, yet someone believes that it should be and forces others to do so, they don't believe in its power either. Yes?
Right. Okay. Thank you. And the second question is, in your world, what kind of leaders, or do you have leaders, and how are they chosen, and
No.
what is their role?
No. As we have described, we function on synchronism. Pure synchronicity. Everyone is exactly where they need to be, exactly when they need to be there, just by following their highest passion. Now, there are individuals who may choose themselves to be organizers of sorts, to help facilitate an amplification of synchronism in many ways, to ensure that things are running smoothly that way. But they're not, in that sense, leaders. We have no government in the way that you choose to express that idea, because everything functions synchronistically. We understand the mechanism of synchronism, and we use it. And therefore, the leader, if you want to call it that, is synchronism itself, is the structure of existence itself that we simply take advantage of. Yes?
Yes.
Does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does.
Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Was there something else?
Well, I wanted to ask a little bit about the pyramids. So
Which ones?
since there are so many pyramids in Egypt and in Asia, is there also an era of when those were built and for a certain like global meaning when they were built?
The oldest ones, yes, approximately 10,500 BC, as you call it. And they had great understanding of what they were doing. Then the knowledge was lost over time, and a lot of the later pyramids do not function in the same way that the earlier ones did. The Great Pyramid of Giza served many different kinds of functions when it was operational, in its pristine state, not the least of which was that initiate priests, when brought into the understandings of the mysteries of creation, would be led into the king's chamber and would lie down in the stone coffer, and they would be taught to generate the gamma state in a meditation. And the stone coffer and the king's chamber was designed to amplify and magnify that gamma state to the point where it reverberated and amplified, and then suddenly popped them out of their bodies. So that in astral form, they could go to higher realms, gain knowledge, bring it back, and share that knowledge with society, although, of course, the priesthood usually kept those things to themselves as to how they achieved that knowledge. They would just simply dole it out as they needed to. You follow? Mm-hmm. Does that answer your question?
So could we do the same thing if we went into the pyramid? And
well, yes, to some degree, although again, there has been some deterioration over time, so it's not really functioning at peak performance. Mm-hmm. But yes, it could be used as a permission slip if you yourself add to it all the things that are missing in your own energy field. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Use your own energy field to add the things that are now missing. And you could achieve the same effect, yes, as a permission slip. Of course, you don't need the pyramid to do that necessarily, but you can take advantage of that if you wish. It's up to you.
Okay. Good.
Yes?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
So last session, I had talked to you about a dream that I had about the reptilian human sexual contact.
Yes.
So elaborating more on that, was that a actual experience that I was having?
Yes.
Or yes. Because I also got a connection with my subconscious mind, that it also was connecting me more deeply with my subconscious mind, bringing consciousness into the subconscious.
Well, bringing the subconscious into the conscious.
Oh, yes. Bringing the subconscious into the conscious.
Yes.
Okay.
Although, you are also correct in the other direction, because many of you think that the subconscious and unconscious are lower than your physical conscious mind, but they're not, they're higher. The physical mind is the lowest level. The conscious mind is the lowest level.
Okay.
Subconscious is above that, unconscious is above that, because you're going toward the idea of the higher mind. Yes?
Yes. So I also got the connection of the reptilians and the Anunnaki. And I was wondering if I got an inspiration that there's an alternate timeline where humans were created not to mine gold.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
Anything you can imagine, in general, is somewhere a reality. You can't imagine non-existence.
Right. So there's an alternate timeline where we were not created to look up to them, that we were created as equals.
And that, to some degree, is where you're shifting to.
Yes. That is so exciting.
Yes, it is.
Also, along the lines of the subconscious mind, was the Sphinx Anubis at one time?
Anubis. Yes.
Anubis?
Yes.
Yes.
It was the jackal,
The jackal.
not a lion. It was the jackal, the god of the underworld,
Right.
so to speak.
That's really awesome. Yay.
Does that help?
Yes. One more thing.
Yes.
Or actually two more. Does Anubis and your
Anubis.
Does Anubis and your father, do they have similar energies?
They do. Thank you for picking up on that.
Yeah. I actually thought maybe it was your dad, but they resonated so strongly.
Yes, there is an energetic connection. It's not that Anubis is my father.
Right.
But my father does have a very strong connection to the archetypal level consciousness that you know in your reality as Anubis. Yes.
Yeah, with all the hybridization going on. I mean, it's just we have so much inside of us that doesn't usually that doesn't represent our physicality.
Yes.
So that's
There's
what
a lot more going on in your world than you are aware of.
Right. And then one more thing. Thank you. My alternate incarnation in Asasani.
One of them?
Thank you. Is it at the same time that you're there?
Partially. There's an overlap.
Hello. Yay. That's.
All right. Hello.
I mean, hello in my alternate incarnation and hello right now as above.
All right.
So below.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Also, I want to say hello to Saibo and tell him thank you because as you have, he also has had a very positive impact in my life. And I want to thank him for that and you.
All right. Well, thank you for creating the positive impact in your own life.
Yeah. Well,
Thank you.
thank you so much.
You are welcome so much.
Hello, Bashar.
And a you good day.
Happy birthday yesterday.
All right. Thank you.
What did you do?
Anything I wanted,
Can
which I do every day anyway.
okay? Can we hang out for celebrate on your birthday?
Can you what?
Hang out party?
You can have whatever party you wish.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm not stopping you.
Okay, with you.
Well, not with me physically.
Okay. Right.
But if you want to create a party, go right ahead.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
And I have a question
Yes.
about my sleeping habit.
Your sleeping habits, as opposed to your natural cycle?
My natural cycle is too opposite from the social, very opposite. Like,
So what? Why aren't you following your natural sleep cycle?
okay, natural sleep cycle is most times 2 to 5 a.m., 6 a.m. I'm very waking up.
Yes. Well, if you follow your excitement and express the things that are representative of your excitement, they will most likely fall into your natural sleep cycle instead of forcing yourself to do things that are not necessarily representative of your excitement that force you to have an unnatural sleep cycle.
Okay,
Do you understand? It's up to you.
right.
But it's more harmonious to follow your natural cycle and do the things in your life that would then fall into place in your natural cycle.
Right. It's like it's not really bother like used to be, but still sometimes when I think about, oh, I couldn't make this because I don't like waking up in the morning. I don't know like,
You're just creating excuses. Are you acting on your highest excitement every moment that you possibly can? Yes or no?
yes,
You are? Are you
Yes.
sure?
yes,
Doesn't sound like it because you just said you were not following your natural sleep cycle. Wouldn't that be more
Right.
exciting? To be
Yes.
able to follow your natural cycle?
yes, yes, yes.
Then when I ask you if you're following your excitement and you
Okay.
said yes, you were fibbing.
Okay.
So stop fibbing and follow your excitement, part of which is your natural sleep cycle. And when you do that, things may come to you in that cycle that will be representative of things you can do that will fall into that natural cycle. You don't have to force yourself to do things and have a sleep cycle that is not natural for you, because that will make you tired.
Right.
It will exhaust you. It will not
Yes.
really refresh you. You may be able to endure it for a while, but it won't really energize you. Following your natural cycle will energize you and will bring you, synchronistically, the things that you can do that will fit the cycle. Remember, you can't experience what you're not the vibration of first. So you have to be natural first in order for synchronicity to present to you opportunities that would fit within the natural cycle. Otherwise, you can't see them. They'll be invisible to you, those opportunities. Do you understand?
Yes, very,
All right.
like, totally. Thank you.
Yes?
And you told us fair tax because it's close from Oakland. How about in Japan and Las Vegas?
Well, that's up to the people in the area. Now, your Las Vegas is still part of your United States, which is exploring the idea of the fair tax. Japan, obviously, is a different culture. But you can create something similar if you wish. It's up to you. We're simply saying that that, at the moment, is the most aligned representation for what it is, based on the economic structure you have, for what it is that would best avail the health of the economic structure. We're not saying that this is the ideal scenario ultimately. You will go through many different transitions with regard to the economics of your world, and you'll have many different ways of expressing that idea. The idea simply right now is that as you have designed your economic structure, the fair tax is the one that is most aligned for the growth and natural health of that economic structure at this moment.
Okay.
Does that help?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. I have one more question.
I beg your pardon?
I have one more question.
Yes?
I had a dream two weeks ago about Mount Shasta,
Yes.
and I will still remember how he looks like, white skin, brown hair, and a little ugly face. And right after I woke up, I realized he was like gatekeeper for Mount Shasta.
In some senses, yes, although that's a slight interpretation in human terms. But nevertheless, is that someplace you're attracted to go and explore?
Yes.
When will you go?
This Sunday night.
Oh, all right, have a good time.
Okay.
And pleasant dreams.
Thank you.
Hi, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
I have a question to you about doing and being. And over the last 5 years, I've been trying to make a transition from my career that I've created for myself. I went into nursing school.
Yes.
And found out that the current situation of nursing is not with what I'm aligned with.
All right, what are you aligned with?
Well, that's what I've been pursuing
Pursuing?
in my education. I wanted to take advantage of my RN by teaching people how to take care of their bodies through nutrition and lifestyle choices.
And that's exciting for you?
It's exceptionally exciting for me.
All right, so that's what you're doing, yes?
Yes. My question, though, has to do with doing and being.
What's the difference?
Because I am...
What's the difference in your definition?
Doing is like you got to do. I've got this list of tasks that I have to complete in order to accomplish what it is I'm wanting.
And being?
Feels more in alignment with what you were talking about in terms of...
If you are in the state of being that is appropriate for you, harmonious, and in alignment with your true frequency, the things that you need to do will also align with your state of being and will not need or require effort so much as you will simply take the natural actions that are the natural flowing result of being in that state. So it won't necessarily have to be a list of tasks that you have to do. There may be some of them, but remember that synchronicity is the organizing principle. Yes?
Yes.
And if it is the organizing principle, which it is, then by acting on your excitement, the things that come with the highest excitement, in whatever order that they come, are the things that need doing. But you will do them from a state of being that allows them to also be exciting actions. And it will not be more than you need to do. It will regulate itself in order, in timing, in everything, in such a way as to show you exactly what needs to be done and when, and no more than that will be needed. Does this help? Are you understanding this concept?
It does.
Yes.
In translating it in my life has been the challenge because I've been applying what you talk about. It's
But
like,
you're not. That's the point. You're not. Not quite. You're still allowing outdated definitions to create a sense within you that more needs to be done than may need to be done. You're not letting synchronicity show you what needs to be done. You're making an assumption of what you need to do. Yes?
I guess so.
You guess? Or you know so?
It's just, I feel like I'm doing, okay. So I'm not getting paid.
Let's take it to a specific level to help illustrate the point. Can you describe the idea? Now you're doing what excites you, yes? Can you describe the idea of this list of tasks and how you create that?
Okay. I'm working with, okay, I have 3 people that I work with.
Yes.
And that when I work with them, it really elicits that feeling of excitement. I love it. They're making changes. We all are really excited.
And so?
Okay, so
where does the list
there's
come in?
this on this side over here, and then there's what I've been doing for work over here, and I'm trying to make the leap of, see, these people aren't paying me. I'm doing it to elicit that feeling of excitement, but I haven't, like, to get out and to market what I'm doing requires time. So there's more things that I have to do.
So what? Why isn't that part of your excitement?
Because it's one more thing that I have to do. With all that,
It's one more thing. If you were doing it in the way that is exciting for you, it would be one more thing you wouldn't be able to wait to do. You're not doing it in alignment with excitement. That's what we're saying. You're making those things look like tasks, defining them as something other than your excitement. If those things actually need to be done, there is a way to do them that is part and parcel of your excitement, and you're not doing them that way. That's why they feel like they don't belong. That's why they feel like tasks. Because you're using old definitions about the way you're going about doing those things, or think that you have to go about doing those things, and making them non-exciting. When you could be inventing ways to do the things that need to be done in more exciting ways by using your imagination, and not just assuming there's only one way to do these things, to get the word out, to market yourself. You're limiting your imagination with these definitions that limit you. Yes?
Yes.
Can we use your imagination to come up with something, as you would say in your language, out of the box to advertise and market yourself in a way that would be more exciting for you? Will you allow your imagination the free rein to do that? Or are you going to keep it in a box?
I will take it out of the box.
All right. So now open up your imagination, and now comes the idea of, I'm excited to market myself, to get the word out that I'm doing this. That is exciting, yes? Just getting the word out? Is that exciting?
Relating to people is exciting to me, and then it naturally flows from me when I do that. So yes, that
All right.
is exciting.
So first question, why isn't that enough?
Because I'm still compressing my vision around that. I've got to work this amount of hours per week to make enough money, and then when I get home, I'm dead tired, and I'm like...
Then why don't you charge more?
I have been. I've jumped up my rates a lot.
Do you feel good or bad about doing that?
I feel fine about it, but I kind of feel like I've reached the ceiling for what I'm doing, and now I'm trying to make the leap over to what I'm wanting to be truly doing.
But you keep going back and forth here.
No,
You keep going
because
back and forth between two completely different ideas.
I know that's what I'm living is two completely different ideas.
But stop. That's what we're saying. Why aren't you just living your excitement? Don't you believe it can support you?
I do, but it's
Oh,
like
no,
everything's
no, no,
over
no,
on
no,
this-
no, 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 no. No, 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 you're already in trouble. When that question is asked, anything other than yes is a no. So I do, but means no. Do you understand? Because if you really knew that it would support you, you would simply say, yes, I know that. You would know it. So here's the crux. Here's the issue. You don't know that it can support you. You're not sure. You don't believe it. That's where you need to focus.
Okay.
Yes?
Yes.
What are you afraid of? Why don't you believe that what really excites you can support you?
Because of the complexity of relationship and talking about money and how it's like bringing that into the dynamics of a relationship and saying, I mean...
What are you saying?
I'm just
Is this
saying,
another way of saying that you don't like to charge for your services?
No.
What are you saying?
I'm saying that I have to make, I'm making money to support my family and myself.
I understand. And you do understand that the definition of abundance is wider than just money, yes?
Yes, I do.
Are you sure?
Yes.
All right. So why don't you believe that what excites you can support you in the way you need to be supported to continue to act on your excitement? Because that's one of the tools in the kit, you know,
Yeah.
that it supports you to allow you to continue to do your excitement in whatever way you need to be supported. Not the way you may think you need to be supported, in the way you need to be supported. Yes?
Yes.
Big difference. So, are you afraid that your excitement can't support you? Yes or no? Hesitation.
No. It's just like this, it's like jumping off a cliff.
Exactly. And I would encourage you not to do so if you don't know that you have a parachute. So what you're saying is you're holding on to old beliefs that you believe you need, old things that you believe you need for support. And that's fine. As long as you are at least allowing yourself to do the things that excite you to some degree, it can over time demonstrate to you, prove to you that it can support you. The question is, how long are you willing to wait?
Well, my goal is to start at the beginning of the year. I kind of feel like the end of the year.
But are you afraid to?
I'm excited and afraid. I mean, I am excited.
Well, which is it?
Yes.
They're not the same thing.
They're mixed. They're together.
No, you go back and forth
Yeah,
is
exactly.
what you do.
I
You're like a little
oscillate.
ping pong ball.
Exactly.
So you are excited sometimes, you're afraid other times. So in the meantime, use that process. Find the things that you're afraid of, find the beliefs that generate the fear, identify them, let them go. That's your task right now. So that when you clear yourself out, you will just be excited and you will know it can support you. Yes?
Yes.
Does that help?
It helps. tremendously.
Are you a little bit more excited now?
I'm a lot more excited.
Oh, all
now.
right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Tadeo.
Nania, is it time for Cosmic News Network?
It is. Okay, back to the election now.
Not yet.
You have
What
more
time is
news? I think we have about 10 minutes.
I didn't ask you that, did I?
I'm not going to tell you.
Oh, all right. This is Cosmic News Network
No.
signing off.
No.
What time is it?
No, because some people asked questions that we
What
weren't.
time is it?
3:30. Can we have 10 minutes?
Thank you for asking.
I did.
Did you? No, you told me.
No. Somebody help me here. I don't want to get into trouble with you.
Too late. Please proceed.
Okay. Trump appears to be a bit dumbfounded by having his bluff called.
Well,
there-
it's very rare that someone is smart-founded.
So is there a chance that the seriousness of this sinks in and makes him a better person?
There's a chance.
What are the odds?
Even.
Because of that narcissistic
It's too soon to
component?
tell. It's still too fresh. Remember that you're not the only ones in shock.
Yeah, he's in shock too, right? With the new president, do we have a better chance of avoiding the economic collapse that was predicted or the major economic devaluation?
You do have better odds in certain ways. Yes.
And the risk of a terrorist incident?
Still pending, but we'll see. There are moves that need to be made first that will tell us more, that have to do, as you already know, with Jerusalem.
Yes, in fact, Trump said that they were talking about moving the capital of Israel to Jerusalem.
Yes. And that will start something moving. But we'll see. There are other pathways through it other than a terrorist attack, but we'll see. It's too soon to tell.
One person wanted to know if the shift to the parallel Earth will contain any Republicans.
In the sense that there will be an interim period where it will be more representative of the original republic, then yes. But not in the way that they exist now.
So as the parallel realities get farther and farther apart, will literally you stop seeing at some point the people who are of opposing viewpoints?
Yes. Eventually.
But that's not like for a long time, right?
Long is relative. Some people may see it in their lifetime. Others may see it in a generation or two. Depends on how they're looking. Depends on their perspective. Depends on their process. Depends on how long they may need something of opposition to hang around as a reflection. Depends.
This was a really cool one. This one says the first day Trump takes office is January 21, 2017, and Trump will be 70 years old, 7 months, and 7 days that day.
There you go.
What does that tell you? Lucky 7?
That it's not an accident.
And with all these protests, what are some of the benefits of all the protests that are happening?
Well, again, certainly you can see that there are different reality perspectives here. Now, of course, the lashing out is not necessarily constructive, but the protest demonstrates, in general, that there are truly different realities here. You're beginning to recognize that. It's actually being shown to you that there are different realities side by side.
Is there any chance that the electorate college will not support Trump?
Not much of a chance that it will not, but you may find that within about 15 to 20 of your years, there will no longer be an electoral college. That's got a higher probability.
Yeah, there definitely were some people who wanted to know that. Let's see. What if Donald Trump implements unjust laws like discrimination and things like that? What is the appropriate way to respond to things like that?
Compassion.
Does that mean that you should break the law, or should you follow that law, or how does that work?
We cannot advise you on that.
Right.
Because we never advise you to break a law, but we understand the idea that sometimes what you would call a quote-unquote just rebellion may require it. But we cannot be engaged in your politics to that degree to advise you on that one way or the other.
Okay, and then lastly, what percentage of Earth's population contributed genetically to the hybridization program?
About 15%.
And so of the people in this room, what percentage of these people are involved in the hybridization program?
About 75%.
And do you know what happened to Napoleon when he was inside the Great Pyramid in Egypt?
He had a vision.
Do you know what his vision was?
He actually had the vision of his defeat. And sought to see if it could be changed. Because he stumbled into a vibration that represented a parallel timeline. He understood there were other options, but did not really understand the amount of momentum that was behind the timeline he was already established for himself.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, and lastly, for those of us who are joining us in Europe and are quite concerned about what's happening in Europe, that there's a lot of antagonism around the refugees coming into their country, and that it seems like the immigration issue is a big one here too.
Yes.
And so they were wondering what you could share with us about this mirror reflection that's happening in both locations, and what is the best way to approach the whole situation?
At this time, that is a subject that we would need to spend more time on, and we will not address it at present.
Okay. So, but in terms of the people in Europe staying calm, I guess, with all the change.
Absolutely.
It's the same ideas that we've had here.
Yes.
Which is that you find a positive way to
find the path through it now that all bets are off. You have the opportunity to start crystallizing a reality of your preference in a variety of ways by acting on your passion, because now everything is unlocked. Now you don't have to rely on what's expected. The unexpected has now reared its head so strongly that you are truly unlocked from the idea of any expectation other than those that are truly relevant. So allow yourself to take advantage of this limbo state by understanding there is very little now restricting you from crystallizing the reality that you prefer.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you for that update
Yes.
from the Cosmic News Network.
It is our pleasure.
And since you're in charge, what would you like to do now?
We would be very excited for all of you to take a short break. And then we will resume the transmission with your holotope experience.
Okay. So how are you today?
Perfect. And you?
Very well, thank you.
All right.
So we have lots of questions from our viewers today.
All right. Please proceed.
Okay. Are people incarnated on Earth voluntarily or by karma?
Voluntarily.
Okay. And Buddhists say that chanting sutras and mantras can eliminate negative karma in the past and present lives. Is this true, and why?
All right. First of all, before we answer that question, we can perceive that many questions having to do with this subject of karma may have been formulated by people before they were able to hear the monologue that we have delivered. Therefore, many of these questions about karma may still be coming from an old-fashioned definition of what karma is. So we will proceed with any such questions in a manner that will relate them to what we have said in the monologue about the actual definition of karma, and show how all of these questions coming from different viewpoints with respect to the idea of the old-fashioned definition can be turned around into a new understanding, a more modern understanding, a more streamlined understanding, thus rendering many of these questions, in some sense, obsolete. Nevertheless, it will be a good exercise to, as you say, drive home the actual definition with respect to many of these questions that may be coming forward from an out-of-date perspective. The idea, again, of karma is that it does not accumulate. It does not come from other lives. Now, yes, there is such a thing as consequence of choice. Yes, what you put out is what you get back. But as we have said, karma, in its original intended form, simply means action. And therefore, as everything exists simultaneously, it is possible for someone to decide to connect to another simultaneous existence that you would call a past life, even though it exists at the same time as the present one. And they may decide to choose to make a connection to certain experiences in those other people's lives and make them relevant for the theme that a person may be exploring in this life. And in that context, you can say, well, the idea of what choices were made and what was accumulated in terms of consequence to those choices may come from another life, but it isn't the idea of something that happens automatically. It is something that is chosen for the theme of this particular life, connecting energetically to the themes of another simultaneous life. It isn't an automatic thing that accumulates and goes from one lifetime to another, since that other person in that other life isn't you. Now, we can talk about the idea that from the oversoul level, the oversoul can say, well, that is my life, and that is my life, and that is my life. And from that level, there is a kind of a continuity. But we will talk about the oversoul in another transmission. The idea, in terms of answering the question right now at hand, is that no, it doesn't automatically come from another life. And therefore, it is something that, again, to remind you all, is simply a choice that is made to recognize that someone may be out of balance in this life. And karma is the ability to take the actions necessary to bring one back into balance, no matter what themes you may be connecting to from other simultaneous lives going on. It's not something that actually follows you in that sense or accumulates upon you from one life to the next, because you only exist in the now.
Okay, thank you. Did Yeshua ever speak to the idea of karma?
Yes. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Again, the choice being made to stay in an aligned, balanced state, in alignment with all that is. And should you find yourself getting out of alignment with that, again, remembering that to be of service and to treat others as you would be treated is the actions to be taking with regard to balancing oneself, bringing oneself back into alignment, and thus utilizing the originally intended meaning of karma.
Okay, and if you help kill chickens and ducks by helping your family catch them and kill them, will you also have karma? This person is saying that they had to do that when they were a child and it was a very bad experience for them, and now they're afraid they have negative karma from the death of those animals.
Again, if it is something you can choose now to understand was representative of being out of alignment, even if you were made to do it by your family at that time, it is more the idea of the consequential energy of their choices that they will experience rather than you experiencing it because it was done against your will. So the idea is to simply recognize that it is something you no longer prefer to do and take the actions necessary in your life so that they do not happen that way again. And that will be balancing the idea of the energy and using karma in its more modern format of taking the actions to bring yourself into balance. Do not worry. Do not judge yourself in that sense. You will find that by simply moving forward in your life at this time in the way that you would prefer to, everything will be brought back into balance.
And if a person sacrifices 100,000 people to save 1 billion people, will this person have positive or negative karma?
Again, the idea is to ask oneself why it was necessary to sacrifice those people in the first place. Were you out of balance in bringing yourself into a situation like that, in attracting such a circumstance? And if you were out of balance in doing that, then take the actions necessary to cease doing things like that bring you into those kinds of circumstances and situations, so you will not have to make decisions like that in the future. Thus, then again, taking the actions that bring you back into balance and utilizing the concept of karma in its more modern terminology and its more modern definition.
So in that sense, there's not any real answer. If we saw something happening that would involve stopping the person that's doing the negative act.
Again, you must remember that there are no accidents, and therefore attracting something into your life that would cause you to have a different choice, that would give you the opportunity to make different choices. In other words, give them the opportunity to stop doing negative things and choose more positive ones. Then you have to take into account also the idea that that person is in your life not by accident, and therefore is part of your ability to attract what you need to use karma to rebalance yourself.
Since time doesn't exist, how does karma work?
Well, as we have said, first of all, everything happens in the now. And the idea of utilizing the correct definition of karma is that you take actions in the now that are representative of rebalancing yourself if you feel you are out of balance. And it isn't that the idea of time or the experience of time doesn't exist. It may not really exist mechanically, fundamentally, but it does exist as a side effect, and it is something that you can and do experience. Therefore, still recognizing that everything does exist in the now, using karma in its originally intended definition means you take whatever actions in the present are necessary to bring yourself back into alignment if you feel that you have been out of alignment.
And having to do with karma and free will, can my soul agree to solve karma from another life of my soul in my life now without my consent?
You are your soul. You have to give yourself the consent to balance yourself by taking the actions necessary to do so in this life, in this experience.
So the idea that a negative, I think in the past you may have said that you have to, the soul oversoul balances these things out in terms of between lives even, like one
Yes.
parallel life will balance out what another one is doing. So does the person that's the personality experiencing one of those lives have a choice about it, or is that a decision that was made at another level of itself and it cannot really negate that?
It depends on how connected it is to the theme you are exploring. Because as we have said, the person you are is a theme, is a path. And if it is something you decided to create for yourself, then it cannot be avoided because you established the path as the theme you would explore. However, in general terms, no. Someone doesn't necessarily have to choose to balance the self in any particular life. You can do it in any particular state of being that you happen to be in on the course of your evolution. So, It's not absolutely mandatory unless you have made it mandatory for the theme that you chose to be in this life.
So it sounds like the better idea is not to look at things that are happening to you from the perspective of, oh, this is happening because I did this in a past life, or I agreed to do it and balance it out here or something. More the idea of just staying in the present and recognizing the connections you're making to other parallel lives are your choice.
Yes.
Based on what you're attracting and the theme you're playing out.
Yes, and remember again, because the original definition of karma is action, which happens in the moment, then in a sense, karma is synonymous with free will. You are making the free will choice to take the actions necessary to maintain balance in your life. That's what karma is. It's not something that accumulates from other times, other places. It is not retribution. It is not something that builds up and then gets you back. It is simply in the moment, the clear, free choice, free will recognition that you may be out of balance with who you prefer to be, and using the concept of action and karma and free will to bring yourself into balance by making choices that are more representative of who you prefer to be. That's all there is to it. It is very important and very crucial, which is why we're having this discussion today, for your society to really start to let go of these outdated and old-fashioned definitions of karma. They only anchor you into patterns and habits that aren't actually real. You are creating from a linear perspective a circumstance that doesn't actually exist in truth. The idea, again, is to bring everything back into present, to take responsibility, the ability to respond for the choices you have made and the consequences therefrom, and then decide, again, with your free will, your freedom to choose what actions to take, what karma to use to bring yourself into the balance you say you prefer to exhibit in your life. This requires you to truly let go of these old-fashioned definitions and really pay attention to the new definition we are offering you as a suggestion so that you can be free to make the choices that are true for you and live in the present and take responsibility. And again, this doesn't mean it erases the idea that there are consequences for your choices. Of course, there are. Again, what you put out is what you get back. But this doesn't have anything to do with what karma actually is. Karma, again, is simply the ability to take the actions necessary to bring yourself into balance if you believe you are out of balance. That's it. Free yourselves from the outdated definitions that anchor you to the concept of repeating patterns and the idea that you have to accumulate things and somehow discharge them in that way. The minute you choose to balance yourself, then you have used karma appropriately and nothing else accumulates until you're out of balance. And again, you can balance yourself in that moment, in the present. That's karma. And that's it.
And so the idea that if a person has been telling themselves a story about, oh, I did this in a past life or whatever, and a circumstance comes up that again triggers the idea of the story you were telling yourself before about why you have this certain emotional or physical reaction to something.
Yes, the closest analogy, as we said, is that someone may choose to connect to someone else's life that is experiencing certain things that they believe might be appropriate or germane for them to explore in the theme they chose for this life. But it's not something that you did that is coming from that life in the sense that you are building up an accumulation of something that has to be discharged as a judgment against you. It's not coming from outside. The idea is that you may connect to that life having a certain experience because you believe that it will help you explore the theme that gives you the opportunity to continue to take the actions that bring yourself into balance relative to that theme you're connecting to. But you didn't do it because that's not your life. You're just using that life for your own purposes to help you balance in this one.
So time and time again, it brings you back to stay in the present, recognize all the connections that you're making,
Yes.
being made from the present.
Yes.
And that the minute you reinterpret what you were previously believing was something coming from a past life into a choice of whether or not you want to continue to connect with that particular experience, sort of like a library book where you can look at the book, but do you really want to check it out of the library and experience the consequence of that?
Yes. You can use it in the way it was intended for the connection that was made to learn a lesson, to help you explore a theme. But again, it's not karma in the sense that most people on your planet have been thinking of it for thousands of years. You're not anchored, except again in the anchorings you chose to have to explore a certain theme, but you created those. So if you created those connections for your own purpose of exploration, when you've learned the lesson, you have exhausted the theme, and you have exhausted the reason to keep that connection going.
So this next person's question of, is karma stored in our DNA? Would it be closer to is our theme encoded in our DNA, and the effect of that maybe the stories that we tell ourselves?
Yes. And again, instead of saying, is karma encoded in the DNA, it would be clearer and more appropriate and accurate to say, is the theme I'm exploring encoded in the DNA? And can I use karma as a tool to take the actions to help me explore that theme? Yes. So what we're saying and what we're suggesting is start changing the definition of karma from something that is investing you in a certain idea or pattern, and start looking at it as a tool to help you explore the theme and keep you on track with that exploration. It's the theme that is represented in the DNA, not karma.
That's fascinating. So then the idea of something being unchangeable. Okay, my theme is encoded in my DNA. I'm experiencing opportunities to balance certain energies out by the things that I manifest.
Yes.
And so is there any aspect of it that is truly unchangeable, or even your theme is changeable?
The theme, what you have chosen the theme to be. Some people, for different purposes, might choose to have an unchangeable theme for the entire lifetime. But that's not necessarily the case anymore now that you are exploring what consciousness is, and the idea of taking responsibility and living in the moment and having accurate definitions of all these concepts and letting go of the fear-based beliefs and outdated definitions. These, in and of themselves, in this day and age, may allow you more flexibility in changing your theme if you have exhausted the original one. You now have the opportunity in this lifetime to have more than one theme. So, allow yourself simply to stay in the present, move forward in acting on the idea of the formula that we have shared with all of you. If you are able to change your theme, if you come to that point, you will recognize it through synchronicity. You will feel the original theme leave you. You will feel some freedom within you and a sense of the ability to choose something different.
It seems like since we have greater communication now with our higher minds, because we understand that relationship within ourselves better, that makes things much more, quote unquote, changeable.
Yes.
Because a negotiation can actually take place.
As long as a lesson is learned, then yes, you are free to choose other themes.
Okay, great. And can you tell us how astrology and karma could be related?
No.
Okay.
Because they're not.
Can you use astrology in any way, though? You could probably use it as a tool to balance your karma. Yeah.
You can use it as a permission slip, like any permission slip, to again allow yourself to use karma to balance yourself. But to say to balance your karma is again misleading. You're not balancing your karma. Karma is the balancing act.
Okay. So, and do we have a choice about our next lifetime?
Yes.
Do we make that choice once we're in spirit, right?
Sometimes you can make it when you're still in physical reality, though you usually allow it to happen when you are in spirit, because there's more flexibility, more awareness, more understanding of what you have learned from the physical experience, and more opportunity to apply that to the next choice you may make.
Okay, and one person was saying that after their parents passed away, two cardinal birds came around and made their home directly across from the front door of my house, which was once their parents' house. And so this person feels a real connection with these birds and wants to know, is it possible for the soul of a person to come back as an animal?
No, no. This is not a reincarnational question. Remember again, bring everything back to the fact that everything exists at the same time. Therefore, that immediately eliminates the idea, mechanically speaking, of reincarnation. You can have it as an experience, as a presentation for certain reasons, for certain purposes, but that's not what's mechanically happening. However, this can involve another aspect of the oversoul, of which the person is also a part and the animal is also a part. So it may be a presentation of the same oversoul in another form, but that doesn't mean that the person came back as that animal. It's just another aspect of the same oversoul that the person themselves might also have been an extension of. We will go more deeply into this in a future transmission, after the next transmission, when we will discuss the idea of how the oversoul works.
I don't know if this is the right time to ask this question, but the idea of a bird or a flower or a smell being a recognition that a person is communicating with you, that's a completely different idea than the one we were just talking about.
Yes, that is simply a presentation of synchronicity using a vibration that may awaken you or alert you to the idea that another being in spirit may be attempting to communicate with you.
Right. So rather than the idea of, oh, that's my parents reincarnated, it's more like when you're seeing those birds, they're actually triggering you to know you're having a communication.
It can be that, but as I said, it doesn't necessarily just have to be that. It can actually be not only a message or a signal, but it can actually be an extension of the same oversoul that the person was an extension of too. I'm simply saying that's another option.
Okay. And there's a lot of feelings about staying in your excitement and how to get back into that when you're experiencing a lot of loss or grief or negative things keep happening, or you even though you try to stay neutral, those challenges of how do you balance yourself so that you can feel the inspiration again that comes from your excitement.
As we have said, the first thing you must do is accept what's happening, as there being a reason for it happening. So if you're experiencing those challenges, own them and ask yourself what your beliefs have to be in order to generate what you're experiencing, because it can't be otherwise. You can only experience what you believe you can experience. And if you believe you need to experience a challenge in that way, as a loss or something that seems challenging in a negative way, then you must believe that you're getting something out of doing it that way. You must be learning something. So by owning it and by asking yourself, what are you getting out of remaining in that belief system that's generating the experience in this particular way, then you can, with honesty, go deeper into your self-investigation. Remember, know thyself. And the deeper you go into why you have a belief that is making you experience these things, why you're holding on to that belief to keep experiencing things in that way, will illuminate what it is you think you're getting out of doing that, why you won't let it go, and it can give you much deeper insight into how to free yourself of it by realizing that by letting it go, you may actually have a much stronger connection and a much more positive experience of what it is you're exploring as a relationship to other people or other places or other things.
So when negative emotions come up when someone's following their excitement, such as feeling very intense anxiety and insecurity.
Remember, that's what's supposed to happen. The reflective mirror tool in your passion brings your attention to belief systems within you that are out of alignment with your passion. So the fact that those things come up should excite you. That's part of your excitement, because now you have something to work with, and now you can realize that you can let something go that doesn't serve you. And that adds to the energy and momentum of your passion. So it's all right to feel those things and own them, but recognize that's why they come up, because they're bringing your attention to something you didn't realize was there. And now that gives you the opportunity to work with it and let it go. And that is an exciting prospect. Now then, we move forward in the understanding of your meditation. And we ask you in a relaxed way, with whatever accompaniments you wish of light and sound, to focus on the understanding and the definition of karma as we have presented it to you, so that you do no longer experience it as you breathe into yourselves more and more deeply and relax and let go of old definitions, old ideas of punishment, because all that is does not punish. Old ideas of retribution, for there is no retribution in spirit. Old ideas of deserving pain, for there is no pain in the world to come. Allow that to become this world, and allow yourselves to simply recognize karma as a gift given to you, as a corrective measure, as a choice to create actions, which is its meaning originally and can become its meaning again. Action. Actions that realign you with your true self, your true vibration, and bring with it the ability and the gift to see and have the discernment to perceive when you are out of alignment with your true self more clearly, to recognize the difference between true passion and excitement and the difference between that and anxiety and fear, and to go forward, not backwards, and to use karma to your advantage as a course corrector, as a guide, to take the actions necessary, to take the actions that allow you to let go of the fear, to take the actions that bring you back into alignment with your true self, who you really know yourself to be at your core, your essential being. Breathe into that. Bring karma into the present. Not from the past, not about the future, but in the now. Karma only exists now. It's not about what happened in a past life, for even though that can be an experience, mechanically there is no such thing as the past. Everything exists here and now, and so does karma. So do the actions you can take every day, here and now, to make sure you are in alignment with who you truly prefer to be. To look around for the opportunities of actions that you can take to be of service, to be of assistance, to be a positive living example of what others can choose for themselves without you needing them to do so. Be of service in that way. Be the essence of the meaning of our word aveo, in service. For I am in service to you, and you can be in service to all by being yourself and living in a free way that you choose what you prefer and use karma to your advantage in the moment and not associated with the past or the future. It is a living mechanism in the present to bring yourself back into alignment. That is your karma. Use it wisely, use it well, use it consciously. This will connect into the next transmission where we describe the idea of how you use your conscious, subconscious, and unconscious mind as well, and how they work together in the present to create your reality experience, and how they work with your beliefs to do so. So we prepare you for that by allowing you to change your definition and your beliefs about what karma means and bring it fully into the present, so you can have a much clearer understanding of how your consciousness and your physical mind works, and so that you can more clearly and consciously navigate yourself in physical reality as an experience with clarity and love and freedom and joy. Karma is here and now. Allow yourselves to breathe it in and relax into the grace of seeing yourselves as you truly are and letting go of those things that are not you, letting go of those fears, those definitions that do not serve you, looking for the ways in which everything can serve you. Everything, without exception, can serve you. If you remain in that state of grace, that state of positive karma, take the actions, have the definitions, make the choices that bring you into the present and allow you to know that that's where you truly live, in the here and the now. That's your karma. Breathe it in, take it in, and make it your own. We thank you for allowing us to share all of this with you this day. Our unconditional love to you all. Welcome home and pleasant dreams. Good day.